Hello. We are very lucky that we can say Christos Anesti, the Christ has risen. Apart from all reservations, impersonal internet sex covers needs, and together with new technologies, it looks as the ideal solution, not only for adolescents, but also for adults, for those adults who want instant gratification. In an era where time is money and solutions in everyday life must be easy and quick, not costly, solitary satisfaction or satisfaction thanks to one-night partners used as expendable tools seems to be a good solution. If you Google the word sex in some hundreds of the seconds, 794 million results will appear. 72 million internet users visit pornographic sites every month. Pornographic contents are the most sold on the internet. $13.3 billion were spent in the porn industry in America in the space of just 1 year. Porn industry is an industry which is very fast evolving and which uses all the technologies, all technological accomplishments in order to keep the interest of its customers alive. Impersonal sex does not nag, does not comment, does not say no. It repeats only what you ask it to say. The combined use of technology, internetic technology and biotechnology will allow very shortly a virtual sex which will be almost perfect. It's not just going to be viewing a representation, but there will be a virtual sexual encounter experienced by the user. Impersonal sexuality as dependency and impersonal sex have an antidepressive role and fill in the gaps of our existence. It is, however, temporary. The action is temporary, but the side effects are permanent. The internetic sex allows for instant gratification that we experience in a relationship, but it also allows us to disappear whenever we please, and we don't have to be accountable for that. We can just use some attractive parts of someone without feeling the need to have the whole person next to us. No obligations, no commitments, no cost. However, the subject here arising is not of an ethical or moral order. It is existential, rather. If the needs are autonomous and they need to be satisfied from time to time, wouldn't that lead to a fragmentation of life itself? The abandoning of the self, by getting away from our friends and family, it creates a refuge in the internet for these people. But the real danger is not pansexualism. The real danger, risk, hides in asexuality. After the coverage of a need, people become indifferent. Many people in the ages between 25 and 35 years old, according to studies, cannot spend more than 3 weeks away from the tablet or a laptop, but they can spend 3 years without a sexual or love relationship. Abuse of sexuality leads to the loss of joy in a sexual relationship. Sexuality without a face establishes itself as a dependency. It offers emotion in the first place, takes us away from our miserable everyday life, but after that, soon after that, it becomes oppressive. It does not offer pleasure anymore, and it pressures a lot the person taking up more and more space of somebody's life. By compulsive repetition and the need for an always higher dose. This is based on a flattened everyday sexual life. Sexual life without surprises, without meaning, without joy. Sexual life between two partners where surprise, impromptu encounters do not exist anymore. Such conditions form fertile ground for the impersonal sex. Of course, it's not marriage that kills love. It is the inexistence of love that kills marriage. The marriage. A couple needs to nurture their love in their everyday life. Internet sex takes away from the user's sexual life, even when this exists. The user may have a companion and a good relationship with her, and even this user may go so far as to think of internet sex at the time that he is or she is with him, and causes sometimes tensions, artificial tensions, in order to get rid of the partner and dedicate himself to the internet sex. And this is therefore a dependency that is being nurtured further by guilt, because guilt fixates someone in the problem and does not allow him to search for solutions. Relationship with his partner cannot be attractive even if the partner is attractive. There is a sense of fear if he is discovered doing this. And this in itself may act as a trigger of pleasure. It's not sex that he misses in his life, it is eroticism. And he sometimes curses himself. This may become part of the vicious cycle that leads to repetition. He punishes himself, but this is without effect. And sometimes, and always in fact, when he sets a deadline for this habit or dependency to stop, he always violates these deadlines. Marital duties are forgotten, abandoned. In the church, for a long time, we heard the views saying that the only problem was sexuality, unbridled sexuality, and how to harness it. And the church said that the only way to do so was exercise. But exercise does not mean deprivation, because deprivation leads to hunger and to bulimia. If someone feels that he's being deprived of something, then he becomes obsessed with what he is deprived of. And this has consequences on the marital lives of many Christians. I've come across cases of over super conservative people who abstain from sex when they are supposed to, but the rest of the time they practically rape their partner because they are guilty about it. They do not respect the wives because because sexuality in their fantasy is a synonym to immorality. So, what are the models for married people in the church today? How many married secular saints do we have, not martyrs? If marriage is holy on the basis of our Orthodox theology, it is clear to me that the people are sanctified within the space of the marriage. So why aren't they brought forth by the church? Is it because the church's attention is turned elsewhere, because the marital element is not given the importance it deserves? Why don't we have married saints? Unless the Orthodox Church considers that marriage is incompatible with sainthood. If that is what the Church thinks, let it tell us this. If they do not believe this, however, it should rectify its attitude, its stance vis-à-vis married saints. Sexuality needs to be seen and talked about as a God-sent gift to humanity. We need to approach this subject in a Eucharistic manner. We do not resent the material element. We need to sanctify it. Sexuality needs to be seen seen in a different framework. And this is why a pastoral revision of sexuality is necessary in order not to exclude and not to divide the material from the spiritual, see the sexual need from the doxological reference of erotic desire. Impersonal sex cannot be the solution. We need to have the Eucharistic doxological expression of erotic desire, which will elevate man and not its disappearance. Thank you.